This is your girl Christina Carmel, and we are back at the Carmel Show. Remember, we are streaming live via the website at TGN Radio UK, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Christina Carmel, which is Instagram and Twitter and all of that good stuff. Now, our special guest is here, so we're just gonna dive straight into it. What up?
What's up?
What's good?
What's going on? How you
How
doing?
have you been?
I've been great. I've been doing all right. Just doing my runs,
Okay.
media runs. You know. So.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of media, Ike.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a lot of media. So for those who don't know who's in the building, do you want to introduce yourself to me?
I go by the name of Ike Chuks.
Wow. Wow. He's ready. So we're going to dive. I got so many questions, so we're just going to dive straight into it.
Let's go.
I want to personally know about the whole transition from here to Nigeria.
Right.
Why you did it. Let's start with why you did it.
Okay, so for me personally, like going back home helps my creative juices.
Okay.
It helps me a lot. Like I can create a ton of stuff when I'm back home. I get inspired by everything. Just being like from the moment I touch down, everything completely changes for me. I made more songs in 3 months than I did while I was here in London for like a year.
Wow.
It's not my first time going back home either.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
Like I've been back home a few times previously. So for me, I said to my manager, I was like, yo, I need to like create like a project and I can't do it here.
Yeah.
I need to go back home and just like re-energize myself and, you know, get re-inspired, visit places, see people.
Right.
And just like take all of that information in. And like my first week there, I was just like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like I started feeling like myself again. I felt like there was no block there anymore. Everything was just coming in. I was doing a lot more freestyles. On my socials.
So you think it was definitely necessary?
Yeah, I had to change my environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's this guy that I always watch his video on socials. His name's Gary V.
Okay.
And he's like advocates for change of environment if you want to be happier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
I definitely believe that.
go where you need to go
Right.
to do what you need to do, and you know, don't give yourself any excuses. Just go and do it. Just do it. Just move. So that's what I did.
So do you think it kind of molded your music? And
Yeah, especially like because I know my sound and I
Right.
know what I want to create, and I feel like, you know, I'm a indigenous rapper. Like I rap in my language,
Right.
and sometimes like the beats that you might get from a UK producer wouldn't necessarily like.
It won't touch this because they're missing that
it's missing
raw
something.
flavor. Yeah.
So I had to go back and work with some new cats. To be fair, I only worked with one person.
Okay.
This guy called Taipei. He's
Okay.
dope.
Okay. Yeah.
So dope. And like I literally like got in the studio with him at first, and we start creating and we just vibe off each other.
Right.
He would make a sound. He would like, you know, mess around with the keyboard and put some sounds in. I'll be like,
Wow. Yeah.
that's the one.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So like we're creating everything together from scratch, and then the words start coming in, and the melodies and everything, like my flow, everything just starts like going. So, you know, it was great to be back home and just working with someone that understood my sound
where you
as
were trying to
well.
go.
Yeah.
So do you kind of feel like if you hadn't made that transition, you wouldn't be as known or as big or popular as you are now if you had stayed here?
You know what? There's no blueprint anymore, man.
Yeah.
Like previously, I could say like, you know, you have to go home to blow and then come back here. But I know someone that went home. He kind of like got.
He didn't blow, and then
not like he didn't blow, but
Yeah.
he went up a bit.
Okay.
But then he came back here, and now he's like boom.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then I know people that have been here for a long time. I use Naira Marley as an example. Naira Marley was big over here, but not like to the level that he is now.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
He was popular type. Yeah,
exactly. And then he went back to Nigeria, had one or two issues, but right now he's a household name. Do you know what I mean? Kida Kud is another example. Like I feel like he was here and he was popping, but then he went to Nigeria, it was still popping, but then he came back here with the tune that he did with, and he got a remix with Gecko and Burna Boy on it.
Yeah.
And right now Kida Kud is big, even in Nigeria he's really big. You know what I mean? But I feel like I started to sense like he was, you know, doing his thing when he came back here. So there's no blueprint. It can work either way. But for me personally, I have to go home and re-energize myself. You know, empty my mind and just be free.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like I'm only thinking about creating music.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I did. Like just went home. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna work on this project. I need to create as many songs as possible in the next 3 months, and then I'm ready to go.
Oh wow, that is amazing. So let's talk a bit about. So I'm so interested. Let's talk all things diversity.
Oh Lord.
Diversity. Do you know what's so funny? I don't remember you in diversity, but there was loads of you.
Yeah.
There was loads of you, and there was loads of young kids, old kids. So it was like, I was trying to see like, but what was that like?
That was another like. I feel like I'll speak for myself because I'm not in everyone's lives, but like me personally, I feel like my journey has always had stages.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? From, you know, when I was at uni, when I decided to go uni, there was a change, there was a shift in my mental state. And then when I met Ash first from Diversity. This is before BGT.
Right. Yeah.
This is just when it was just Diversity.
Yeah.
Like, no one knew who we were. And that story is like, it's like faith.
Right.
It's a very long story. We'll be here all night if I start telling it. But that was another shift in my journey. And then the whole Britain's Got Talent thing was another shift.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's always been stages for me where it's like, okay, you have to like literally go from here and now you're over there. And that was like a turning point for me, like when we won BGT, because I went from just being a normal dude, and then as soon as we won, the next day we were in a hotel in central London.
Right.
We weren't allowed to
just
leave.
like that. Yeah.
They had to bring clothes for us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everything completely changed. Like even my own, like my friends that were closer to me before I met Diversity, they didn't even see me. They weren't seeing me like that.
Wow,
but they understood, but I didn't have a chance to like
explain or just
see
justify
them like that
and
anymore.
see them,
So a lot of things changed. Like life was really, really good. Do you know what I mean? We had a ton of fun. We had our ups and downs as well, but
of course, because there's so many of you, so that's so much personality.
It started off with 11 of us,
Yeah.
and then 3 people left, and then it was 8 of us. Then I left, and then now there's a bunch more people in
Right.
Diversity, you know what I
But
mean?
now everybody's kind of, I see like everybody's kind of gone off to do like different things. You've gone off to do music. I see some of them doing presenting. Like the little one with the big afro. He's like dancing and
dancing on ice.
Yeah. So was that your then transition point to then go and do music?
So I was doing music even before I got into Diversity, but I wasn't doing Afrobeats.
Okay.
I was just a straight rapper, like influenced by a lot of American artists, Nas, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Dipset. Those were like my influences at the time. And after a while, like I felt like, because I released like a single whilst I was in Diversity. I released a mixtape as well.
Yeah.
But I felt like it wasn't genuine. I felt like listening back, I felt like at that point in time, it was almost like I was holding myself back. I was holding a side of me back. I was holding the African side of me
Afrobeats. I was
back.
going to say, was that
Yeah, and I was just trying to push forward this British side.
But was that because you weren't really around those type of people who could push that out of you? Or were you around people who knew their culture?
That's one of the reasons. I wasn't around people that were, you know, like really involved in the African culture,
the Africanness,
like that. Even to a point where like there was a time when it wasn't cool to be African.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Go.
So all of that kind of played on my self-esteem, which I'm glad that I've had to go on the journey to rebuild it. Do you know what I mean? And like know who you are, know yourself.
Right.
And I took a gap. I took a gap from music. I took a break from music for 2 years. And there was a point where I was just like, like I'm in one of the best dance groups in the world, but sometimes I feel unhappy, but I didn't know what it was. I just felt like I didn't know, like I didn't understand what it was. I was just like, I used to just meditate and pray to God and just be like, I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember one day, like there's my friend, his name's 27, he's a producer, he lives in Kent, right?
Okay.
And I wanted to hang out with him, not go and make music, just hang out.
Yeah.
But whilst I was going to his house, I was like, let me look for the last instrumental he sent me, see what it's about. So then I found one from like 2 years prior, and I was thinking, what's this? I played it, and it was just an instrumental, but I was on the hook, and it was an Afrobeat song. Now I don't remember making that song.
Yeah.
It's called Go Low, right?
Yeah.
But the hook was nice. I was like, I don't even remember making this. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I got to his house, and I was like, dude, man, I feel like maybe I should do some Afro. I should start making Afro beats. And he was like, well, just play me some stuff and we'll work on it. I started playing a lot of like fella music for him to like
everybody and fella,
absorb all of that. And we started making Afrobeat songs, and I was just like, when I started, I was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? Like, bring the pidgin English and English. I started off just doing like pidgin English and English.
Right.
I could speak Igbo, but I wasn't ready to start putting that in. And then by my third song, my fourth single is titled Man Down. And I was literally just full on Igbo in that song. There was hardly any English. There's English, but there's more Igbo than there is English. And that's when I started to understand who I am, like what this is me. Do you know what I mean? Everything felt genuine. It's Ike Chuks. I'm coming with pidgin, English, Igbo language. I'm bringing all of me out rather than kind of holding one side at back and putting the other side in. And people just fell in love with what I was doing, so I was just like, well, this is it then.
Have you put dance on the back burner? Is it still
I had a back injury as well. I've got a ripped disc on my spine that's never gonna heal. I still carry. I can't sit for too long or stand for too. I still dance. My music
ain't gonna stop you.
I'm still gonna dance. I remember like, the last time I was in the hospital, we had a show on London. What was it? I think it was Saturday night at the Palladium with Anton Deck hosting.
Okay.
And we did a performance, and I went home, and I was in bed, and at 3 a.m. I woke up in the worst pain ever.
Oh,
it was like out of 10, it was like 11.
Oh no.
I was like crying my eye, like not crying, but like tears just coming down my eyes. Called the ambulance, and we had a show the next day as well. They called the ambulance. They came down to wheelchair me out the house, put me on laughing gas, so like to distract me from the pain. I still had to wait like 2 hours in the emergency room, and then the guy came over. They put me in, asking me like, "Can you feel this? Can you feel this?" I was like, "No," and he was like, "Yeah, we have to keep you here."
Oh no!
I had to keep walking with what's it called? The you know where old people walk?
Yeah, with the xylophone.
With the frame. Yeah. I had to walk with that to go to the toilet.
Oh, it was that kind of injury.
It was that kind of bad. Yeah, it was that bad.
So you didn't dance the next day?
No way. Because that's a reoccurring injury. That wasn't the first time it happened.
Oh no,
the
that's game over.
The first time it happened, I was off. I didn't dance. I was in diversity, but I didn't dance for like 2 years.
Oh,
but I was still in diversity. I was just going on tour with everyone. I was kind of more like the eyes, like just watching to see like routines are okay and stuff. But I wasn't dancing. But after a 2 year gap, I had the epidural up my back, and then I started dancing again, which was for another 2 years until the whole hospital thing, like the ambulance taking me.
Right.
So I was off for like 6 months, I think. And the doctor said, I was like, so when can I go back and dance? She was like, mate, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but next time this happens, you might just end up in a wheelchair.
Oh, God.
So I was just like, okay, so it's time to just...
it's time to chill out.
Just chill out, just relax.
Oh, wow.
Like what we do, what diversity does is not, you can't be at 80% and do it.
Right, yeah, you got to be 100%.
100%.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
There's a lot of like tricks and movement that you can't do at 50% or 60%. You have to full on go out, otherwise you stand out.
I was just gonna say, because if everyone's giving 100 and you're there giving 50, it will show.
Yeah, it will show.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow, that was today.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
So it's produced by Maestro, featuring Maestro as well. And shout out to Shop Sidhu, because he's my big bro, but he also does a lot of A&Ring for me in terms of features. But he gave Maestro a shout out to Maestro. I met Maestro in London when he was over here doing a couple gigs, and we linked up, and we just like, the chemistry was dope. We just connected.
Amazing.
He played like a couple beats for me, and I was like, I don't know, man, not sure if these are the ones. They were dope beats.
Yeah.
But then he was like, okay, I think I know what you're looking for. He's got 2 laptops, right? He brought out this other laptop.
Oh, okay.
And he just opened it. This was the first beat he played. Ego was the first beat he played. I was that's the one. That's the one. And it was literally recorded, like partly recorded in my hotel room where I was staying in Lagos at the time. And he came over with his boys, and we were just vibing, drinking Henny. As you do. Yeah, that's how the chorus came about. And I part recorded, the second verse actually, when I was in Nigeria, and then I finished the song when I came back to London. But it took me a while to finish because I had this, like I was saying to you earlier on, I had a mental block. For a while, and I think like I had another acting gig that I was doing at the time, so my mind really wasn't focused fully on music. But once the acting gig was coming to an end, I was like, okay, I gotta get back onto this. I kind of like forced. It was almost like a forced perspective. You know what I mean?
Okay. So talk to us about acting. We know that you love to act amongst many other things.
Yeah.
How was that for you? And is it something that you are going to continue?
So sometimes, like, all right, I feel like I've always been on a journey of discovery. When I started dancing, it was my first discovery. Then making music was my second discovery. Acting came about because Universal wanted to do a movie about diversity, right?
Okay.
And then they put us through like acting classes for like 6 months.
Oh, nice.
Private, like classes. And the guy that was teaching us became an acting mentor, and he said to me like, dude, you're great at this. Don't ever stop. You know what I mean? And that was the period, because before that, if you asked me, do you want to be an actor? I would say no. I don't know how to act. So
I'm not about that.
But in that process, I found that, okay, this is another talent that I have. And I just didn't, even though we never got to do the movie, I didn't stop.
Why didn't you get to do the movie?
And that's another story for me. You have to ask Universal that one.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right.
I don't know why, but yeah, it didn't, it didn't get green lit. That's the term they use. But what's it called? And I discovered, that whole acting situation for myself, and my acting mentor has always been there to like guide me through things. My first like major gig that I got was to do a commercial for ITV Player.
Okay.
Playing the lead character. It was just two of us, me and another girl. And then the second one was to play the lead character in my first ever theatre show for a guy called Tomo Sankara. Okay,
and that went everywhere.
I didn't expect it to be that big. I thought it was just going to be a small theatre play, and not that much publicity.
But that you're gonna continue.
It's always gonna be there for me.
Right.
Acting. Same way like dancing. Even though I'm injured, I never stop. My music videos, I'm always doing one or two things like dancing wise, and you still have to act in music videos as well. Of course. So it's always gonna be in me. If the opportunity comes, I'm gonna take it. Do you know what I mean? But for right now, like my focus is. I just wanted to like focus on one thing, which is the music, and just like see that through and get to the level that I want to get to. And any other opportunities that arise whilst doing that, I'm open to taking them. You're open.
How is your music being received overseas in Nigeria?
It's great. Here's the thing: Nigeria is a different kettle of fish, man.
Right, is that a different obstacle? Because you have the London, the UK obstacle, and then you have the African obstacle. I think
like. Over here in the UK, people just play your songs if it sounds good and they vibe to it. If you're talented, you get airtime. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like in Nigeria, it doesn't quite work the same. Do you know what I mean? It's like you might have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have, someone who's sponsoring you or
so it's a who you know type.
Who you know and how much you have.
Oh really? see that is the problem with Africa, and that is just one of the many issues with Africa, because it kind of fizzles out those who have talent. Yeah. Because you might have talent but no resources.
Exactly.
So then what happens to you?
Sorry, mate.
Oh dear, it's all over. That's frustrating.
Here, like, there's like things that are put in place to help people with talent. If I don't have a studio, I have my own like carry around studio. But if I was someone who has no studio, I was a young kid, there's places I can go to and I'll get studio time. Right. So, I mean, Nando's do a thing where they've got a studio set up. If you book, you can go in and have a free session.
What, here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not just Nando's. There's so many things like that. There's I think the Mobiles do one as well. Like they set ups to help Nando's, people with talent. Wow. Yeah, Nando's definitely have one in collaboration with someone else. I can't remember who, but those facilities are there to help people who don't have access to them. Do you know what I mean? And then if you're dope, there's other things you can also, like competitions that you can go into that, if you come like top three, they'll give you like a studio session with, you know, a writer, a producer, give you someone, they call like someone like Craig David to like advise you and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So all these facilities are in place to help talented people grow. They don't have that in Nigeria. They have people that help people. They have like, I know like Don Jazzy's got like Maven set up, but that's a record label,
right? Yeah,
it's different from having you know, access to studios.
So how do you even? So then it just becomes trying to be seen type industry, trying to get to the right people type industry.
Yeah, networking,
attention seeking, and networking.
That's it. Yeah, it's not just about that your talent anymore. It's gone past that.
And that's because of lack of resources, really.
Yeah.
Not because of the saturation of the population or anything like that.
Nah.
That's so sad. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to deep this, really. That's really, really, really sad. Because that limits the talent.
Of course.
That really limits the talent.
Definitely. Like, there's a lot of talented kids in Nigeria.
But what annoys me, see, now I'm in my feelings. I'm in my feelings. Because then what annoys me is that there's a lot of wealthy people around.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people with the means to create such resources.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, maybe those people don't have people around them to give them... Look, there's people that have a ton of money in Nigeria. There's a lot of rich folks in Nigeria, but you know, music might not be.
That's not where their thing
you know
is at. Yeah, so that's not where they're at.
You wouldn't really want to set something like that up, you know.
But you see, that's the self mentality, because that's not thinking about the development or that the future or building up the next generation. That's just.
You just have to. I feel like someone in your team has to put the idea to your head and say like, you can do this to help your community, and in turn you can even still make money from it, but you're still helping people come together and helping people grow.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
So how do you get your music out there and heard and
I've
played?
invested in myself from the get-go. Like, people are going to say like, where'd you get your money? I had diversity money. Yeah, I was lucky to have
of course,
start off with. Do you know what I mean? So I'm cool. I thank God that I was able to even do that. And also, like, because I've had experience in the past from putting music out, I kind of knew that, okay, this game, you're going to need a certain amount of money to stretch. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And get you to a point where you need to get somewhere before it finishes. So I was able to like stretch that. And then whilst I was doing it, I had people see my talent from the outside and be like, I want to be involved with this guy. Do you know what I mean? So I've had help from the outside coming in, but that's because I had to make the initial investment.
Of course. That's with most things. You need to start. You have to set the foundation, and then people then come in and see what you're building and help you build. Yeah. That is, But
if I sat back and just kept recording music, saying, look, this is my talent, this is what, no one's gonna. Because even like when I started, finding producers was a problem because I hadn't put anything out, so no one wanted to like work with me. The only reason why 27 worked with me because he's my friend, and also he knows what I can do. Like, we've recorded songs in the past, so he was comfortable with like working with me. Do you know what I mean?
But you needed to build your own body of work.
To build my own thing. Do you know what I mean? And once that happened, I get people emailing me every time like, I got beats for you.
And that's what I always say to people, like, you need to invest in yourself and build your foundation first. Don't expect people to come and build what they don't know what to build on if you haven't built the concrete or the foundation. Because then after, people can see what you're doing and then they can say, okay, you need walls here, you need this and this and this. But if people don't know, it's long for you. But this game is lovely. Now you'll have a 5-track EP out.
Yes, sir.
How did that come about? What was the process like?
It was actually quite a very interesting process for me. It was quite refreshing. Like I said earlier on, I flew purposely to Nigeria to spend like 3 months over there just to create. And
was that just for the EP, or was that for other things as well?
Mainly for the EP.
Okay.
Just like, I actually just wanted to travel and create music, as much music as I possibly could. And that was such a good thing for me to do. Like, it was so refreshing for me to do that and just create new vibes, create new sounds. Got to work with. I didn't even want to like, not like I didn't want to work with anyone per se, but I wasn't worried about any features.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to create my own vibe.
Yeah,
like,
your own body of work.
Like, the producer I was working with would be like, oh, this person would sound good on this. I was like, I ain't trying to put no one on nothing. Do my own
All
thing.
of you sit down.
Yeah, I'm just going to do my own thing. And then after I put my project out, if people want to feature me, then yeah, we'll work that way. But I'm not looking for anyone. But there was this particular one song that I made titled Money.
Money, right?
And
right.
I made it. And I left the second verse blank. I was like, there's only one person I can hear on this, and that's Bodge.
Okay.
I was just like, I gotta get Bodge on this, right? Like, he's the only person I could just hear on the whole track.
Right.
So I sent him a tweet.
As you do.
Yeah. Because we met before, but we hadn't been properly introduced. Okay. So shout out to my big homie Shopsy Do. He reached out to me.
Shopsy is the guy, like he is the absolute plug for everything. I swear he's the plug to the industry.
Yep.
Love that guy, yeah.
Shopsy is such an energetic, like,
I'm telling you, there's no other. There's no other. And do you know what? I've like even watched him to see, because I was like, surely this man is drinking or doing something, or he takes something. Is it a sugar high? What is going on? But it's just so energy, and he can go and go and go. And sometimes when you're with him, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, when I'm with him, sometimes I feel like I have to match his energy, but I just can't. And he'll be like, get up, Christina, get up. And I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just like, he's got so much energy. Yeah. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, shout out to Shopsy, man. I love that dude. But yeah, he reached out to him as well. And Bodge got back to me, sent him the track. A few days later, he sent me the whole thing.
Wow, look at that, man.
So gassed, like, because he like, whatever it was I had in my head, he basically just put that on it. It was like, it was even better than what I thought he was going to come with. Mm-hmm. So I was so gassed about the whole thing. I sent him a voice note.
Right.
And eventually I was like, this is going to be dope. So I took the voice note and I put it at the end of the song as well.
Wow.
So that's another like interesting story over there. But yeah, and it fitted really well as well. Like the excitement in my voice for him sending me his verse and stuff. So that was a dope collaboration to have.
What's your favorite track on the EP?
What Happened to Kate?
I was gonna say that was my what happened. How did that? We're gonna play that at the end. Yeah. What Happened to Kate? How was that, making that for you? How was that?
So Taipei, producer, was we're working on a particular beat in the studio. Because what happened was, when me and him started working, we had to both go to a studio, and then eventually I got some studio equipment. So then he was coming over to my house.
Yeah.
So I felt more comfortable in the house because I was free to just go anywhere I wanted, and I wasn't conscious about time.
Yeah. Yes, that's one of the biggest things. Yeah.
So, when he started he first made that in the studio. He was making a song first, and I came in, I was like, it's not the one. I was like, anyway, I'm just going to go out for some air.
Okay.
I came back in and I heard that beat playing. He had added some other stuff to it. I was like, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. And we didn't have a lot of time because my time was running out. So I just like, all right, just send me the beat. I'll work on it when I get home. And I started working on it at home. Started off with the chorus.
But by yourself?
Yeah, by myself. I was just playing it just in the house, just vibing to it by myself. And you can even hear it in the verse, right? Because I was going to go one direction with it. No pun intended. And literally, like, after like the first 4 bars, I was like, nah, just go a different place with it. So I just took it somewhere else completely. And you can hear it in the verse. I was like, when it became happen, just 2 chicks is on me, which one will I? And I just switched it, and the chorus came to me as well, and I was just like, everything just blended in like really, really well. And then he came back to the studio. He came back to my house, and we like recorded everything properly again. Oh, wow. So
one thing I will say that I get from you is a sense of, you really know who you are as an artist, whereas a lot of people seem very unsure, but you seem to know who you are, what you want, your expectations for each music that is being produced, and that you understand your journey and where you're trying to go, and because sometimes that you when I interview people, like, I get a sense that they don't know who they are as an artist. They know who they are as a person, but they don't know who they are as an artist. And if you don't know who you are as an artist, your music, where can your music go, and how can you touch? But you seem to know, like, even with like a fine tooth comb, you seem to know like who you are, so you know what your music should sound like. And when it doesn't sound right, you're like, no, take that back. Something's missing, and add a bit of salt. No, it needs a bit of garlic. You know, you seem to know that, and that's really, really, really good.
Thank you.
Because it takes years to get like that.
Yeah, and it did take years to get there.
Yeah,
like I said before earlier, like when I started off like just making music in general, I didn't understand what I was capable of doing.
Right.
So even the 2-year gap that I took from music, when I came back into it, I was like, I can't do the same thing I was doing before. Because what I used to do before was write bars. So because of the artists I used to listen to, it was all about barring. Like, what are you saying? What's your content saying? But I never understood the flow side of it. I didn't understand. Not that I didn't understand, but I didn't focus on my flow. I just used to like try and let people know how clever I was with my bars.
Right, of course.
And if your flow's not interesting, it'll just go over people's heads.
Yeah, of course.
It's not enjoyable. It's just saying words. It's clever, but still, you gotta make it interesting to keep people latched on.
Right.
And I had to push myself to even rap faster, because where I was so sure about my bars, I tried to like rap on a slow pace, like, you know, so people can digest the bars that
right,
out of my mouth, you know what I'm saying? So pushing myself with that whole, how I, you know, change my flow with my rap, pushing myself with the bars, pushing myself with my melodies, even like pushing myself to sing my own choruses, because that's another obstacle I was facing, finding people to sing my hooks. And this guy Richie Montana, shout out to Richie, he's also been a fundamental part of my journey, because he kind of gave me some direction at some point. And he was saying to me one time, because I was like, I'm gonna record this chorus, right, but it's not me that's gonna be on it. And he was like, dude, just sing your own chorus. I was like, I'm not a singer. Like, dude, just sing it and I'll let you know if you can sing or not.
I will tell you.
And then because he's Tiny Temper's producer, he worked with Tiny, he's worked with a lot of bigger artists.
Right.
So I think it was Play Like Play. It was my first single.
Right.
And he was like, I don't know why you're waiting for a singer, bro. Just do your thing. You know what I mean? So that gave me confidence to, okay, I could actually, you know, lay some vocals like melodically, and then from there we started playing with harmonies and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I had the right people around me to kind of guide me on my journey. And you know, even Shopsy Do has been a, you know, if it wasn't for Shopsy, I'm gonna say this out here, if it wasn't for Shopsy, ain't no Ike Chuks. I strongly believe that, not completely, but to a certain degree. Like when I recorded my first 4 songs, I didn't know Shopsy, but I knew him. I found out about Shopsy through another friend of mine who introduced me, and I played him like a couple songs, and he was like, Definitely.
You need to have people behind you. You have to have mentors, because they just help you to grow, and not only that, but they also push you professionally as well. And give you the advice you need. I definitely. What's it looking like, man?
Looking to drop my Igbotic EP first, the first one, and then once that's dropped, I'm gonna drop Igbotic 2. Okay. I want to drop 2 EPs, and then I want to do a headline show in London.
Nice. Nice.
My second headline show that would be.
Any projects coming up with other people? Any features? Any?
Well, I was saying earlier on, this first EP that I'm dropping this year it's not just all me. Actually. It's got Maestro in it, because Ego's did part of it, and it's got Bodge. The second one, so far, no one. But I've got a couple of artists that I would like to work with. I would definitely like to work with Burner. I've got a song that all I hear is on it is Burner.
Nice. We need to make that happen.
I've got another song that I wanted to get Ricardo Banks on as well.
Ricardo Banks was here the other week.
Yeah, I
cool
saw
guy.
That. He's
cool
cool
guy.
But I'm not, you know, if that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean my project wouldn't still come out.
Of course, because you're going to put out a good body of work, which is all you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely important, so the fans can hear what you're bringing to the table.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. We've come towards the end of this show.
Thank you.
It was absolute pleasure.
Same.
Make sure you guys check him out everywhere. Shout your socials so that they can hear you.
Twitter, Ike the Kid, IKETHEKIDD, and Instagram, Ike Chuks Official, IKECHUKS Official.
And is your music on all streaming platforms?
Yeah, music's on all digital streaming platforms.
Okay, and make sure you guys, there's no excuses, man. And I say when we bring people here, I say there's no excuses. Check out the music, support. And if you like good music, then this is the person to listen to, and this is the place to listen to it, man. Make sure you come back to the show. We'd love to have you each and every time.
Definitely, I will.
When are you going back to Nigeria?
Next week, actually.
Just when it's about to snow. Jesus.